When you think of the term licensed game, what's the first one that comes to mind? Okay, so on average, you either thought of a game that you played when you were a kid, or you thought of an actual piece of trash. As common as they were and as fun some of them could be sometimes, those good ones were definitely the exception. Look, I hate to be the guy to say it, but when it comes down to it, most licensed games are just not that good. Either the gameplay sucks, the story's boring, or it's just unplayable to begin with. There's a reason the stigma exists after all. And since you guys seem to enjoy the first video, I decided why not take another look back at some terrible licensed games that I remember and see if I still have the same opinion after playing them now. But to start off, I want to go over something that's a little more out of the box and different than anything else I'm going to cover today. That's right, baby, a professional movie maker. Now, if you're an aficionado of the Zenith channel, you know, the one that made this banger, then you're probably well aware of my amazing Toon Twister creations. Such classics as Timmy Turner Poops Himself or SpongeBob storms the Capitol building.
Today is January 6th, and we want to storm the Capitol.
I love this game. It is a huge burst of nostalgia, and using it every now and then takes me right back to when I was first falling in love with video creation. But it fucking sucks, man. The UI is clunky, the features are buggy, the sound sounds like this. And if the game decides that your microphone isn't going to work, which happened to me while making this video, test. God damn it. Then you're left with an insanely limited selection of options for what you can actually do. That being said though, Toon Twister is still so much fun, and even though it's pretty objectively bad, I still love messing around with it to this day. So it took me like 5 minutes to make, and I made a movie where Timmy steals Cindy from SpongeBob. Check it out.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Timmy.
I know I can treat you better than he can. And then he got
Oh, no.
Oh, Timmy, no one's ever said something like that to me before, Timmy. I think I'm in love with you, Timmy.
In your face.
Let's get married and poop ourselves.
Mwah! Marvelous. The story of this game is, well, non-existent. Plankton showcases his invention that lets you control the entire Nicktoons lineup, which is like from 4 shows, and then you get to use it. Wahoo! If you've ever used a movie making software before, this stuff will look pretty natural, but for those who haven't, let me show you the controls and stuff. This big black square right here is the preview window. It's where you're going to control the characters and play back your amazing movies. On the left are some settings that don't really matter, and this bottom section here is the timeline. Right now it's showing movies that have been already made. But once you click the new button or one of your unfinished projects, you get a variety of options to choose from. And I'm not gonna lie, the selection here is anything but minuscule. There are loads of environments, props, and even characters you get to play around with. From SpongeBob,
Let's go jellyfishing.
to Jimmy Neutron,
Just had a freaking brain blast, Carter.
to Timmy Turner,
I wish I didn't have to wear diapers no more.
to Cosmo and Wanda's faces for some reason. The variety of props you have at your disposal here is honestly impressive. And even though you're only able to pick 4 of them at a time, it's pretty crazy to think that there's this much of a cast to use. After you pick all those things, the world is your oyster. You pick a max of 4 characters, set up a scene, then you have 2 minutes per scene to make up whatever story you want. Be it simple or ridiculous, it's really up to you. The game gives you movement options and voice lines as well, but they're all pretty specific and are hard to form a narrative around. So only using the default sounds makes you have to take a lot of creative liberty while making your movie. And when you try to share with other people, you're running the risk of it being insane. That being said, it's still a super fun game to mess around with, even as an adult now. I mean, hell, I probably spent way too long messing around in this game than I really should have. Kind of like how I did for WarioWare DIY in my big WarioWare video. I just get lost in these creative type of games. While recording this, I made quite a bit of movies. How about Jimmy gets verified on X the Everything app? Mainly so I can just record B-roll. Yeah, let's see our banger.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, SpongeBob. Bleeping Leptons.
But even then, my ideas got a little too unhinged for this kid's game. Okay, now he's in space with Vicky, who's Elon Musk. This is vile. This is vile. I'm getting. We are doing this over. We are doing this over. You know, I have an idea. I'm gonna stream this. I need stream ideas. So stream it. I did over here on the screen. Check it out. Everybody subscribe. Hey, everybody, it's me, Patrick. Actually, no. This could be the. You know what this could be? This could be like the post-credit scene where they're all. It's like Happy Feet and they're all dancing. This is the. Beautiful. That's the whole movie. The end.
Ah, Mr. Krabs.
He's talking to Plankton. What if Mr. Krabs gets constipated and then he poops out Plankton? What if he eats Plankton right now? Perfect. See, this is the ideas that we need. God damn it. Yeah, so he's gonna be like,
Who's in charge here?
okay, perfect. Perfect.
Snowball blaster.
Oh my god, it takes so fucking long. It's like a good 2-second buffer before you actually. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. If you want to watch the full highlights, including the entire movie I made, then check it out by clicking on the little card up there below on the Zenny Live channel. I do want to get a stream rolling because I find it really fun to do. So if you do want to watch me play more terrible licensed games, or hell, watch me go through my challenge videos live, then follow me on my Twitch. Shameless plug out of the way, this wouldn't be an objectively bad game if there weren't things that were, I mean, objectively wrong with it. So let me go over some of my professional gripes with this kids game. The way the characters move is super janky. Although I tried my best to have it work out, you need to format the movement in such a specific way for it to actually work the way you want it to. And if you don't, you end up getting a jumbled up mess of movement ending at the position the character started in. The lack of selections for audio is also a really big deal. Sure, if you're creative enough, you can get away with spamming leaping Leptons for the 30th time in the scene. But even then, the only options being greetings, farewells, and catchphrases makes for a really one-dimensional list. Of course, there's a way to mitigate this by using the recording feature, but that didn't fucking work. But the biggest problem I had with this game was just trying to get it to run in the first place. I'm going to go into this in a little bit, but outside of using a VM, running this game in compatibility mode nowadays just makes everything not work the way it should. Obviously, the audio sounded horrendous, but also opening this game every day felt like a gamble if it wanted to actually turn on or not. That is honestly less of a problem with the game itself though, and more of me trying to run software meant for Windows XP on a software nearly 30 years older. So I guess that one's not really an issue with the game. But even though it has all of these problems, I still love this game. Like, honestly, recording for this game has been so much goddamn fun. Because even through recording all the jank, all the crappy VM stuff that I'll go more into detail a bit later, I still found so much enjoyment playing this game. Sure, objectively speaking, it's really not good at all. But things don't always have to be good to be enjoyable. And not enjoyable in a so bad it's good way either. Like, just plain fun. It should be totally okay to enjoy terrible things. And you should also be able to admit that some things you enjoy are objectively pretty bad. I mean, one of my favorite bands in the past few years has been AJR. AJR sucks, but I seriously love their music. Not everything has to be some modern art piece that scores perfect 10s on a ranking scale. Sometimes it could just be a stupid little game that ages horribly, but is still enjoyable to replay. Just like... oh boy, do I have a story for you. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius for the PC was released in 2001 by Awe Games and Big Sky Interactive, and let's just skip the spiel here. You're seeing it right now. Do you think this is a good game? Like, come on, let's just be real with ourselves right now. How can you look at this and say you're in for a good time? Well, surprisingly, you're wrong. Well, about the good time thing, not about this game. It actually is pretty bad. Jimmy Neutron for the PC is a perfect example of something done so horribly, but is so stupidly enjoyable, you can't help but not love it. Everything about this game is stupid, from the controls to the graphics to this annoying guy in Retroland. Nothing works, it's a big mess, and yet it is still such a fun game to play. If you can get it running, that is. Yeah, before actually playing this game, I had to, get it to run. And unlike Toon Twister, where you just go into compatibility mode and the game runs fine-ish, this game, for whatever reason, would not open no matter what I did. I tried every single compatibility mode setting, got the installer working, but it would never actually run. What's happening? What's happening? Jimmy? I fucked around with the DPI settings because I thought that would fix it. Nothing. And I'd open the exe so many times, watch the screen resolution change, and then just have nothing else happen. I want to play Jimmy Neutron. Oh my god, my screen is so small. Jimmy! The hell? Open. Jimmy! With this, I eventually decided to bite the bullet and attempt to set up a virtual machine so I can run games like this. And Oh my god. If you were to ask me what's worse and put setting up a virtual machine in one corner and shoving a dull-headed object down my urethra in the second corner, I would pick the dull object every single time. Seriously, if you don't have high-level knowledge on old PC architecture, good fucking luck getting anything here to work. This should load up Windows XP now. Windows setup. That's not right. Disk boot failure. Fuck, why? Why? This is like the dumbest shit in the world. I don't get how anybody has the patience to do this shit. I spent multiple hours on tutorials trying to get these stupid things to work. And if one thing went wrong, be it my mouse wasn't connected to the PS2 port or my keyboard not reading inputs, for example, I'd have to reset the entire VM. And then every single time the process would be corrupted and I'd have to start all the way from the beginning. I can't believe I'm doing all this bullshit to play the fucking Jimmy Neutron for the PC, man. It's 2025. Why is it this difficult to set up a basic virtual machine? How isn't there something like Dolphin for people who want to play old ISO games, where all you have to do is just get an ISO file, put it in, and then it just works? Why is it this difficult? I can't believe it's still this insane to set up a basic virtual machine in 2025. Look, I get wanting to go down the nitty-gritty if you want to test specific things, but for people who just want to play, like, I don't know, the disc version of The Sims, why is it this involved? Why can't it just be a plug-and-play option? I feel like that one guy on GitHub that's just like, give me an exe file. I swear, this is so annoying. I don't care about any of this setup shit. I just want to play Jimmy Neutron. Since the VM solution obviously wasn't working, I started Googling for a fix and on a whim found a random forum post that had the exact solution I needed. All I needed to do was replace a DLL file in the install of the game and it would run just fine. But for some wacky reason, whenever I tried to replace this file, my computer just wouldn't let me. I would drag the replacement file in. It would tell me I needed admin privileges, which obviously I have. I built the goddamn thing. I'd click allow and it just would say, no, you're not gonna change it actually. Now, I don't know who this computer thinks he is, but I own you. You're my thing. Why are you cooking me? So now I had to do even more troubleshooting to see why this wasn't working. And after digging around in the deep recesses of the Windows command line, I edited the permissions, reset my computer, dragged the file in again, and oh my god, it worked. Oh my god. Does it open? Oh my god. It opens. This was like a 3-day process. I can't believe it was this fucking annoying to play Jimmy Neutron. And after all that work, we can finally play Jimmy Neutron for the PC. Now let's see what all the trouble was for.
I saw something outside that looks really neat. Follow me and I'll show you.
So, this is Jimmy Neutron for the PC. You're looking at it. Call me Mike Mozart, because I mean, really. This looks really garbage, even from an early 2000s perspective. But maybe the gameplay is a little bit better, so let's play it and see if it's actually decent. Oh, this is already a good start. How the fuck do I jump? Shift? Shift is to oh my god. Terrible controls aside, we leave Jimmy's lab and go to get his epic jetpack. Every item you unlock allows you to go in these test rooms to test out the item, but they're just kind of bullshit, so let's just skip it.
Goddard looks hungry. I better go
I'm already doing the Jimmy Neutron voice all again. We talk with Carl, who, oh my god, what did they do to Carl? We follow him outside, do some collection stuff with these red neutrons. Oh, fucking god. God damn it.
Nick says if you show up, he might give you back your Area 51 map.
What? So we go get our Goddard scooter, even though Goddard's right next to us. The Jimmy Neutron voice is gonna get really tired. Oh, it's gonna get really freaking tired. Go inside the school and race Nick. The race with Nick is pretty easy. You just scoot around in a circle a couple times. And Nick is so slow that he's pretty hard to not lap. But Nick is furious for losing, so he races you on the real racetrack. The construction site outside. We gotta go to Nick. We gotta save the day. Oh my god! This is another race, but it's actually easier than the one you just did, because this one allows you to cut corners and, you know, take shortcuts. And with that beaten, we get our Area 51 map. So now we're in Area 51, I guess. We walk around for a little bit, unlock invisible, then just dick around for a little bit until we get abducted by aliens. It's been 5 minutes in the game. What is going on? Now we're inside the alien lair. I gotta take a shit. One sec. What the hell? 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 We get through this little area. It's very linear. And using our invisible move allows us to just dodge all these aliens. We escape, get out of Area 51, and then we go to see our mom, I guess. Our mom wants us to go pick up the key from our dad in the candy bar. So we go downtown, go to the candy bar and do that. But since Jimmy's mom is a lazy bitch,
Stay off the bed with your shoes on, young man.
Shut up, Mom. I'm pooping.
we have to go get the wrench for her now. Ugh. Woman. We do some more bullshit. We give Cindy a purple flurp and she just goes.
Blurb. I mean.
We see Carl at the school where he tells us that he lost his inhaler. So now it's our job to go find it. I just realized this whole game is just doing busy work for people. What the hell?
What the hell? There's a Tyrannosaurus. Shrinkware.
We do a lot more bullshit, honestly. I'm not even gonna waste your time.
I got abducted by aliens in the first 10 minutes of the game. And now I'm just doing like, why have I gone?
Until we go to Retroland. Yeah, Retroland. Woo.
There's so much cock.
Retro ticket. Can I go on the thing now? Wee, sumo.
After about 30 minutes of nothing happening, we finally get Carla's inhaler, and then all of a sudden,
I feel kind of funny, Jim. What's happening?
Better get my rocket ship.
What the hell? He looks like that. What the fuck?
now the aliens invaded, we go get our rocket ship from the epic Ultra Lord guy, and he does an epic dance move. We go find Cindy to get inside Miss Foul's classroom to get something interesting. But Cindy doesn't believe aliens exist until...
Women.
Okay, so the rest of the game is like you get a map to the power plant and then you go to the power plant. This section's actually pretty interesting. It's the first part of the game that poses some semblance of a challenge. It's just a linear platforming challenge where you have to jump over nuclear goo with your grapple hook.
Miss Foul?
Why the fuck is Miss Foul at the power plant? What are you doing here? Now we're on a timed mission to get to the end of the power plant. All we really have to do is throw baseballs at these big buttons to shut off these fans, grapple hook over all the nuclear waste, and then press these little buttons to unlock the next section. This entire thing takes about 5 minutes, but you get 15. It's pretty lenient. Then after that, we have to go to Area 51 and use the rocket ship and freaking save the freaking day. Now we're in a rocket ship level, which is pretty much just an auto scroller that is really long. This is without question the most boring part of the game. I was having more fun collecting Carl's fucking inhaler than this. After like 10 minutes, we get through to the fucking lair. We walk around a lot, go invisible a lot.
Okay, I get it. There's an intruder somewhere, guys. We gotta get rid of him.
Until we get to the evil Neokian's lair. And we use the shrink ray on one guy, which scares the evil guy. And then they leave. And we saved the day. To finish the game, we're in the candy bar and everybody gives their one line of congratulations to you at a time.
Good job, Jimmy boy. Good job, Jimmy boy.
It's like they did a retake
Way to
and
go,
they just put the
Jimmy.
whole thing in instead.
After that, you get a final score, you get the credits, and then the game resets. And that's Jimmy Neutron for the PC. To be totally honest with you, this game was really stupid. It was not good. It controlled horribly. It wasn't very fun. But something about the entire experience just brings me so much joy. This could just be an insane nostalgia trip talking. But even though everything about this game is just wrong and bad, I fucking loved it. I love going back and replaying it and just laughing at all the shit in it. Sometimes the only thing that could really scratch that itch is just a really bad game that is just funny the entire way through.
This game sucks so much ass. This game sucks so much dick. It's so terrible.
Even though that's the case, this entire game took me about an hour and 10 minutes to beat, which means it took me way longer to get this game to even run than to beat the entire thing. So was it worth it? Probably not. I will say though, I did finally get a virtual machine working, but we're not going to be needing that for our next journey because we're going to the Wii.
To be completely real with you here, I don't remember much about WALL-E. I know he's a robot. I know there's a female future-y robot. I know that it's about a dystopian future where humans' destructive nature made the world we once lived in uninhabitable, and how it can be a dark glimpse into our future if we don't take care of the world we're living in now. And I know the people are fat. Honestly speaking, I've only seen the movie once, and I really don't have many memories about it. most of the memories I had were because of this goddamn stupid game. Now, going into this game, I was a little confused because in the comments of my Good License Game video, I saw a lot of people talk about Wall-E as being one of their favorites as a kid. Now, I've learned from my WarioWare video that if I ever have a negative opinion ever, I will get cooked in the comments for it. Dude, how are there so many shooters for Get It Together? I thought it was being nice. This game sucks. Oh my god. But I really was surprised at how many people said they liked this game, because just like them, I had this game as a child and I fucking hated it. Like seriously, I remember this game used to make me crash out like speedrunners do today.
Are you fucking kidding?
My memory of Wall-E for the Wii is that it's one of the worst controlled, worst looking, drab, ugly, and straight up frustrating games I've ever played. There were so few mechanics to this game, and yet it still couldn't seem to get any of them right. But after viewing the comments, I thought maybe I could be wrong. I mean, I did play this game as a kid, and as we've gone over before, I was a fucking dumbass. So maybe, just maybe, this could end up being a game I actually...
You're like under him. I did it.
He's eating you.
I died. Yeah, this game blows. It doesn't take long to realize in Wall-E that you're not in for a good time. I mean, you do get to control the game with the nunchuck, which is not terrible, but just looking into this tutorial world, I was not expecting a good time, especially because I already had no clue what I was doing.
I wasn't paying attention. No, I wasn't paying attention. Fuck, how do I pick it up? How do I pause? I don't know what's going on at all.
I ended up resetting the game to get the one control tutorial back, and it taught me that shaking the Wii remote is how you pick up blocks. That's awesome. This tutorial shows you the ropes of the character. You can turn into a little box. You could jump around as Wall-E. You can pick up blocks and throw them at these BL circles. And to be real, there's not much else. The game spends the next 30 minutes just combining these facets together as you just progress through the level. And it's not like this game was picking up the challenge at all.
Okay, I'm playing this on like a real Wii. I hope you guys realize, like, this lag is just the game. This is not me.
And already this early into the game, I realized how bored I was going to be throughout the entire thing. Because, man, every single level here feels super elongated. And with these controls, doing tasks such as bringing a block over a barrier takes so much unnecessary time already. We jump around, we platform around, we do Wall-E things with the blocks until we get to the arbitrary end of the level.
The next section is just more of the same. The main objective here is to go around this gigantic contraption thing, which poses a little bit of a platforming challenge, especially with how terrible these controls are. But my biggest problem with this part is just how many auto-scrolling sections there are. A lot of this is just standing around and waiting to move again, which, especially if you fall, makes it even more annoying. Oh, fuck me. What? With that though, we do more block throwing puzzles, get to the end, and then we get to play as Eve, who's the coolest freaking robot ever. As Eve, you get to fly around using the Wii pointer, and the goal here is to find 5 electronic devices, and then shake your nunchuck to put out an EMP pulse.
It's like Boston.
Yeah, this is literally like if Boston was the entire world.
This part is fine. I think flying around is pretty all right, but the environment is just so drab and boring. Oh my god, it's boring. This entire game so far, I just feel like... Once we eat that, there's this auto-scrolling section that's awesome sauce. If you thought the Jimmy Neutron auto-scrolling was bad, this goes on for at least 7 minutes longer than it should. You do have a 30-second timer that constantly resets when you hit a checkpoint to add some semblance of stakes, but... Don't tap the glass. Don't tap the glass. Don't tap... Now we play as Wall-E again with Eve's help. It's awesome. Yeah, we get to platform some more. Woo! The platforming here is a little bit better with Fee because you don't turn into a box and fly around everywhere. And you also land softly, which is nice, but... And after that, we get into our first boss fight, and it was here when I got really stuck.
You have to kill the robot, I think.
I have to knock things into him. To knock the bins, but I tried that, and then it fucking... See, that's what I do if I touch it. What the hell? I seriously had no clue how to even think about damaging this guy. I can't touch these motherfuckers. Well, yeah, these things are like charging, obviously, and then this thing knocks it down, and then a bunch of barrels come. Barrels! I tried a lot of different things, being disinterested the entire time. I even got into the boss's mouth at some point because I thought that's what you had to do, but it just killed me. Damn. Damn, Daniel.
Is there anything you can do? Oh,
After about 30 minutes of trying this, I decided to look up a walkthrough, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. Wait, okay, I'm not stupid. He's doing it too. Look, he's stuck on it. It's not just me.
it doesn't tell you. You
Oh,
just
what
have to
the
skip the level.
What the fuck is that? Okay, so what you actually have to do is jump into these big BL buttons when the boss's arms are up, because then bombs get thrown into him, and I don't know how I was meant to know that. That is so stupid. Finally, after that, we beat it because it's easy. We short circuit Eve.
You have to pay attention to the lore. Zenith, the
care.
lore.
I don't care.
Zenith, she's gonna die.
Good. And now it's time for the section that ruined my childhood when I was a kid. The only prerogative here is that in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, this rocket ship is going to fly away, and you have to get on it before that happens. And crazy as it may be, I beat this part of my first try. I don't know what 8-year-old me was smoking, but it must not have been that good. Now we're in the future. Future. And I kind of just got lost for 20 minutes. Like, I really didn't know what I was doing at all.
There's a wall. There's an invisible wall. That's epic. God damn it.
There's this annoying robot guy who hates blocks, where his main goal in life is to just fucking annoy you. So that's fun, but the rest of this, I can't lie, I have no idea what to even talk about. This is the first time making a video about a specific game in a really long time where I am out of words to describe it.
That guy caused a traffic jam.
Seriously, like, I can complain about the controls or how it looks ugly or how this robot guy is annoying, but at the end of the day, I just didn't care at all about this game. Like, this was straight up the first time I've ever recorded for a video, and I didn't even want to finish the game because, wow, this game is the most unbelievably boring walk in a straight line to the objective and fucking sit in the auto scroller game I've ever played in my life, probably. Like, I really believed once I got to the future section, you know, the cool technology, that the game would get at least a little bit fun, but no, it's just more of the same crap. And when the game does decide to switch it up, like when you get Eve's rocket launcher, for example, it gets insanely tired because every level is like 40 minutes for no reason. This game is like if Desert Bus had a Disney logo slapped on it. Like, seriously, there is so much filler in this game, it's unreal. And it's all just boring. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just boring. Oh my god, I've been recording. I actually fell asleep playing this game. That's unbelievable. There is a level right near the end, though, that I do want to highlight, so let's get there. We kill all these robots with our laser gun. Pew, 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 pew. We fly around in space as Eve following Wally, which is really fucking awesome because he's the size of a pea. We jump around as Wally with the little block robot hating guy because, of course, he's there because he's fuck me, right? And then we get to the final level in the game. I'm pretty sure this is like the end of the space civilization world or something. I don't really know. But we have to platform around as Wally and Eve, defeat a bunch of enemies, and of course get to the end of the fucking level. And now it's time for the final section.
Okay, let's do it.
You have to get to the top of this giant hill while a bunch of fat people roll down the hill. They're also timed throughout this mission, so you have to get there quick, and the fat people become a bigger hindrance than you could ever imagine.
Too many fat people. Fuck fat people. I hate fat people. I'm gonna kill myself. No! No! No!
Oh yeah, and all these red things, yeah, they insta-kill you, and then you have to redo the entire level again, so good fucking luck. And that's Wally for the Wii! Yay! Yeah, I beat the whole game. Fuck you.
It's over, thank God. Oh my God. Thank you. Fuck you, Heavy Iron Studios. Fuck you, Diana Wu. God, it was just boring. It was fucking... It was just boring. It was just really boring. That's my, live thoughts.
Honestly speaking, this game was absolute garbage. It's like a Zenith video in 2025. It's pure trash. It's not fun to play. There's a ton of auto-scrolling. The story is just a watered-down version of the movie, and it just drags. This game really could have been like an hour and a half long, but it took me about 3 hours of concerted effort to go through the entire thing. I understand wanting to make a game longer so it feels worth the price, but you also got to make the game fun to play, and Wall-E is certainly not that. I'm sorry to all you Wall-E fans out there. I'm sure the movie's great, but this game isn't just one of the worst licensed games I've ever played, but one of the worst games in general. There are bad games that are annoying, there are bad games that are frustrating, but I think the worst types of games are the ones that are just boring. And I can't wait to see the skill issue comments I get because I don't like this shitty goddamn game. And with this game done, I think I have the patience to cover one more game today. And let's make it another game that even during my childhood, I fucking despised. Shrek Super Slam pisses me off, man. This game, like Wall-E, ruined so many nights for me as a kid. It's unreal. I know I'm supposed to have a little bit of a professional YouTuber spiel here about the development of the game, but as I foreshadowed in my Good Likes This Game video, I just don't like this one. Well, I didn't anyway. It's been a good decade since I've even touched the thing, so let's just get into it and see if my opinion is a little more favorable now that I'm 40. Inside the main menu, there are a couple options. There's story, mega challenge, melee, training, trophy room. But the only real important ones that I care about are the mega challenge and story, so let's just start there. And into the story we go. The story for Shrek Super Slam is quite the interesting one. Donkey's trying to put his little baby dronkies to sleep, so Shrek and the rest of the Shrek crew decide the only way to put these guys to sleep is to tell them stories. And that's what they do. Every single fight, it's its own little sub-story, and it's kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. Like this first one, which is a Wild West theme, where Puss in Boots is the new mean guy in town, and Gingy has to stop him. I guess while I play through the story, I'll tell you how this game actually works. Shrek Super Slam is a party fighting game unlike any other game I've ever seen. Every match lasts 2 minutes, and in those 2 minutes, you do whatever you can to beat up the other players. Be it by punching, grabbing, throwing chairs at them, anything that would inflict damage on the other character. This sounds pretty similar to every other fighting game, but the difference is the reward for doing damage, because doing damage increases your slam meter, and when it fully fills up, you get to do your Super Slam. The Super Slam is a special move for your character that matters the most in the entire game. If you hit your enemy with a Super Slam, you get 1 point. And if you get hit with one, then you lose a point. This means the only real important factor in this game is hitting your Super Slam. It doesn't matter how many hits you do or how much you're dominating the competition, your only prerogative is hitting your Super Slam. And if you whiff it, you're pretty much fucked. In theory, this seems like an interesting spin on the formula, and although it is, most of the gameplay ends up being super stalematey, because unless you're playing against a beginner level CPU, then your enemy is gonna fight back, leading to both meters filling up at about the same rate. Sure, you'll probably be quicker, but unless you're absolutely destroying them, the amount of damage you do is negligible, which means to actually win the game, you need to do either one of 3 things. You need to get a Super Slam really late into the game. You need to be absolutely demolishing your opponent. Or the way I normally played it, you get 1 Super Slam and then spend the rest of the game running away from your opponent. Because one thing that this game doesn't tell you in the single player is that if the round ends in a tie, it just favors the computer opponent. So if both of you finish a 2-minute round both hitting 1 Super Slam each, even if your slam meter's farther along than the computer's, you'll just lose. There's no sudden death, there's no tie games, it's just bullshit all the way down. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some cool features to this game, but the majority of it is just this. Running away as much as you can, hoping you don't get chipped, and if your enemy does have a Super Slam, try your best to make them waste it. It leads to a cycle that is marginally fun at best, but at its worst can be really frustrating. Anyway, the next scene is a parody of Cops, where Prince Charming is trying to catch Donkey. But once Prince Charming threatens his family, Donkey's ready to fight. This fight is just like the first one. It's a basic 1v1 and his AI is pretty terrible. The next story is a parody of Cribs, where Gingy has a sick-ass house. But uh-oh, Genome is there to ruin it all. So now you have to beat him up and destroy your house along the way. The next one parodies, from what I know, like kung fu movies, where Fiona has to fight Master Humpty Dumpty in this amazing costume. These fights so far have been all pretty much the same, and mainly what I've done is just wail on the characters because the AI just isn't that good yet. But Humpty Dumpty did put up more of a fight than the rest. The next story is inside a clock tower right next to Shrek's house, but Quasimodo's having a ball of a time singing the Reddit is Awesome song. Shrek is pissed because he's a based 4chaner, and so is Fiona, and now it's time for them to team up to beat the shit out of Quasimodo for daring to updo Chonkers or some shit.
Reddit is awesome. It's a content.
This round introduces the concept of team fights, and they actually introduce a really neat concept of this game that I've never seen before. Since obviously in most games, the single person in a 1v2 is at a massive disadvantage, the game evens it out pretty hardcore. Because sure, you can get constantly pummeled without having the chance of attacking, but if you do somehow get your Super Slam meter all the way full, then your slam can hit both people at the same time, and you can get 2 points instantly. Now, this requires a Super Slam to actually hit both people, and also for you to get your Super Slam in the first place. But it actually leads to a surprisingly fair engagement where most games falter. I can't believe it's so easy for like Quasimodo to come back. It's actually kind of crazy. The next story has the Dark Knight going through a drive-thru, and Pinocchio plays the role of the average Zoomer drive-thru employee, not giving a single shit, and the Dark Knight hates the rising minimum wage, so he wants to take his anger out on Pinocchio, I guess. I'm just making this shit up. This fight is when the difficulty spikes a lot. I'm not sure how the AI really works in this game, but it's definitely leveled up more than any other fight so far. It actually took me multiple tries to beat this one, so that must be saying something. The next one is a parody of a cooking competition called Medieval Chef, and Gingerbread Man, Humpty Dumpty, and Captain Hook want to cook up Donkey as their next meal. But Donkey ain't having none of that, so you gotta fight 3 of them as Donkey. This fight for sure is one of the more difficult ones, but again, since you can easily get 3 points if you get a Super Slam, it's actually a lot more fair than you would expect. That's not to say it's not unfair, because I kept dying and losing quite a bit. In the final story element, Pinocchio is an evil puppet doctor, and Puss in Boots has to defeat Pinocchio while also fighting his minions, that being Shrek and Fiona Ogre as puppets. And with that, the story is complete. The Dronkies are put to bed and we can all go home. But that's just the beginning of the content in Shrek Super Slam, because there's a whole other section called the Mega Challenge, which is a gigantic map full of minigames, and it's the main form of content in Shrek Super Slam. The minigames range from normal fights to races around a track to having to throw gingerbread men in this fire. There is so much variety here, it's actually kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie, even though as a kid this part pissed me off so much, I have to say that I was kind of having fun this entire time. I don't really have much to say about these minigames other than the fact that they allow you to explore every single character. So instead of detailing every single mission you have to do, I'm gonna do a tier list of the Shrek Super Slam cast based off of how I liked them, and as someone who has barely played it before this video. Okay, so there's Shrek. He's Shrek. He's slow, he doesn't hit very hard, and although his Super Slam is funny, it's really easy to avoid, making it so that especially in group fights where if you hit one person with your slam, you lose your entire meter, it makes it hard to get a lot of value out of it. So I'll put Shrek in the D tier. D for Drek. Donkey's up next, and dude, he sucks. A lot of these challenges force you to play as Donkey, and it's just painful every single time. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that he's a 4-legged character, but he controls so weird, and his attacks are so slow, have a long cooldown, and do barely any damage either. Seriously, I only got value out of him by throwing my opponent over and over again. A big F tier for Donkey. Puss in Boots is up next, and honestly, he's also not that good. I don't know what it is about Puss in Boots. I thought he'd be like a quick, agile character, but again, his attacks have a lot of cooldown to it. So even though his attacks are pretty quick, there's a lot of downtime between them. He just feels clunky to fight as. To be fair though, his Super Slam is better than Donkey or Shrek. But I'll put him in the D tier above Shrek. The next character up is... and he is really good. I feel like the quick characters have a massive advantage in this game, especially when the opponent has their Super Slam. Since the only win condition is hitting the Super Slam, being able to dodge them is really a powerful thing. And that, combined with the fact that his Super Slam is really good AoE, I gotta put him in the A tier, man. Fiona's the next one up, and man, she's also really good. Playing as her, the main thing I used was her aerial attack, mainly because it auto-locks onto your opponent, and you can just chain it over and over until you get your Super Slam. Seriously, she's really good, and probably the easiest character so far, so she's going to the A tier, right above Gingy. Fiona Ogre's up next, and her main issue is that she just plays like Shrek. She's slower, she's clunkier, she's not even hot anymore, and she just isn't very fun to play as. The only upside to her is that her Super Slam is better than Shrek's because it hits a wider area, but other than that, she just kind of blows. I think because her Super Slam is decent, I'm gonna put her in the C tier just because Shrek farts. Pinocchio's up next, and to be real with you, I just never played as this guy. Like, I fought against him as a Dark Knight, and he played fine when I did the missions as him, but he just, there's nothing there that that screams unique, you know? His Super Slam is really good, though, I think. He's probably a B tier. I don't know if we're gonna. Prince Charming is so dreamy, but I don't really know. If anything, he's just a faster version of the Dark Knight. Kind of like how Captain Falcon is to Ganondorf in Melee. That's not to say he plays like Captain Falcon though, because unlike him, he's got no aura. I'll put him in the C tier. Little Red's up next, and holy shit, she is cheesy. I literally picked her every single chance I could get because she's one of the only characters in the entire game with a projectile attack. So all I did was just stand far away and spam projectiles for as long as I could. It was actually such a dumb way of winning, but hey, I was winning, so that's an S tier. Up next is the Dark Knight, and I think this guy is really cool, but even so, he just kind of sucks. Like, sure, you can get value out of him sometimes, but most of the time, he feels like a punching bag. I'll put him in the C tier for looking cool, though. It's about here in the second row where I start to lose interest in the characters because
who the fuck are these people? But for the sake of it, let's just keep going. The big bad wolf is up next, and I don't really care for her. From what I played, they're just like whatever. And their super slam's stupid. D tier. Anthrax, or the unicorn, is up next, and they actually play like a better donkey. Like, everything is better. Their attacks are faster, their super slams better, they're freaking epic unicorns. With that said, a better donkey is like a better Polar Express. It still sucks. B tier. Cyclops is up, and he's actually the worst character in the game. I'm not kidding. I don't even know why anyone would even bother using him outside of a joke. F tier. Robin Hood's next, and I wouldn't say he's as good as Red Riding, but he's also a character with the projectile, and projectiles are fucking broken in this game, so I'll put him in the high A tier. Next up is Keemstar, and I'd say he's very middle of the pack. He's not amazing, but he's not bad either. None of his attacks are special. His super slam is just but he's short and he's fast as fuck, boy. So I'll put him in the C tier. It's Dronky time, and I think they're pretty average. I'd say this is the best four-legged character in the game, but that's mainly because of his aerial attack being easily loopable, and super slam is insane. With that said, though, I think he's gonna sit at the top of B tier.
Quasimodo
Is up next, and D tier. This goth girl is up, and she's fine. Okay, she's not fine. She's definitely one of the better characters of the cast, but I just rarely used her unless I was forced to. To be real, I think she's better than all the B tier characters, but I don't really know, so put her in the B tier. Captain Hook is up. Do you guys know that Captain Hook fight in Chain of Memories? You know, the one where he makes all your cards one cost cards. Yeah, that one. Yeah, fuck that fight, man. C tier. And finally, Humpy Dumpy. Just like in the storybook, he fell off a wall and he had a big fall. If the wall he fell off was the tier list, because I'm putting him in the D tier. He's fine, I guess. His super slam's insanely annoying, but has nothing else really going for him. And there is my objective, fact-based tier list. If you disagree, you're wrong. And look, we beat the entire game, got our cake level, and finally I can enjoy the epic cake level. This fucking sucks. And that is Shrek's Super Slam. I won't lie, I was going into this one expecting it to be horrendous. Like, I remember absolutely hating this game as a kid. But going back and playing through the game as a big boy, I have to say that I actually did enjoy myself. The fights were interesting, the game was engaging, and it was a pretty unique and fun experience throughout. Sure, it was janky, sometimes punches wouldn't land. The Super Slam mechanic can be abused super easily, and a lot of the later missions got really goddamn annoying. But hey, I mean, overall, it was fine. Will I ever come back to this game, though? Probably not, but hey, it was better than I expected.
And fellas, with that, our horrible license game journey has come to a close. We covered a wide variety of games today, from ones I remember hating and ended up liking, games I remember hating and still do, and even games that come on, suck, but are still really good times in their own right. Honestly, not only was it fun revisiting games that I thought would be downright shitters, but it was also great, not you, to have changed my view on games like Shrek Super Slam, for example. Maybe the comments are right. Sometimes. Anyways, fellas, if you enjoyed this video, then subscribe. It really does mean the world to me, and it's the best way to tell if these videos I do are actually good. I would like to make this license game thing a series in between bigger videos, so tell me if you enjoy these types of videos. I try to be a little more different than the first time. And yeah, that's about it for me. Shout out to my patrons as always, and I will see you guys pretty soon.